There he is.
You hear me good on your end?
I hear you great. How do I hide myself? How do I show?
You can just click on me.
There we go. Got it.
Me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
There you go.
Marantz, what's up, dude?
How you doing? Hey, brother. How you doing?
This is the first time we've talked, and like officially on my stream or your stream. Well, we talked on your stream over the phone.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, this is a little different.
You look great.
No, I'm doing really well. Well, thank you. I got a new camera just for you. No, it
looks good.
Works. Thank you. I've been grinding, cranking out GameStop videos and trying to stay on point. But between living life and watching Cowboy football, they're 3-1. They feel great. We lost to a 50-year-old quarterback by the name of Tom Brady, but I'm okay with that.
Yes.
And then keeping up on GameStop, that's tough. And, I'm proud. I'm going to say something right now, and I don't want to get everyone in a sad mood or anything. It's probably going to be like the last day or two for my grandmother here on Earth.
Ooh.
And I that's why I hadn't been live the last 3 days. If people were looking for me, I didn't do any videos. Just dealing with that. But when you called me this morning or you text, and this is it just shows the most support for GameStop. Everyone, even the biggest creators right now are willing to reach out. And I just want to thank you for that. And that's from everybody, man. You've been great. You made a tweet about not being in the movie and stuff like that. I didn't want to be in that movie anyway.
No, me either.
I don't be jealous like that. I don't do it that way.
No, same.
But here's the thing, Kaz. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch. I watched the Gaming Wall Street one. I didn't watch this one.
Okay. So the Netflix one, just reluctantly, my wife, we were cleaning up last night and she put it on. I just got home. She's like, hey, I'm going to throw this on. I just want to see what they have to say. And I don't know if anybody knows, I call my wife the hedge fund. She's a GameStop supporter. She supports my YouTube. She supports me personally. So I'm like, okay, babe, let's see what to do. We turned it off on the second episode, the minute it started.
Oh my gosh.
You've seen it, but watch this. If you go to the second episode, you don't have to watch the first one. Go to the second episode and push play. And then you'll turn it off in 3 minutes and you'll understand why. They have GameStop supporters rapping. It's like these two white dudes who take their shirts off, and they should keep the shirts on because they're about $1.50 soaking wet. It's absolutely gross what they're doing, and they're terrible at rapping. But hey, they got it. They made us look like we're idiots with that damn movie. And why make a movie midway? There's just no
exactly.
We're still going.
Exactly,
and brother, I know the chat's probably going right now. So
yeah. Well, first thing is, sorry to hear about your grandma. And so I was super close to all my grandparents, and when I started streaming, I went through the same thing where my grandpa and I were super close, like my best friend, and I lost him. And I went through that live on stream like a year or two ago, and that was pretty tough. So I feel you on that. But hopefully you had a good relationship with them and some great memories and times. And I'm on the far end of it, so it'll get easier. So
I appreciate that for you. Yeah, no, grandma saved my life. That's it. Yeah. And I'll tell that story one day. But yeah. We're here now. I know you want to touch on some topics. I'm ready. Let me tell you, I've been doing my homework on this stuff. I actually heard, and I'll never take it away from anyone. If somebody's out there getting out the info first, always give them the credit. Al from Boston, who does not have a good reputation with his own movement as far as being a supporter of AMC, he disabled the comments on his video that he put out. He put a video out about Barclays.
Okay.
It was, about Barclays. And I went ahead and I started looking it up. I went through the EDGAR system on the SEC.gov, and you can look at press releases.
Yeah. So before we get into it, this is one thing that is getting overshadowed. This is one thing that's getting overshadowed right now by the Credit Suisse stuff, is that the Barclays situation and how they're oversold billions and billions of dollars worth. And I want to talk about that with you. So yeah, go ahead and get into it.
So $17.7 billion of securities, unregistered transactions.
Not a lot.
Oh, no, not at all. 17.7 billion. The craziest part about this is that they all correlate with dates of GameStop tanking.
Really?
When they start trying to sell it, they're trying to suppress the price. As we're going up, they're suppressing, they're trying to sell it, trying to control it basically. And as you read through the filing, because I'm going through the filing, it's just unreal. They got sued, or they're getting fined $360 million. That's a lot of money.
Not compared.
How you put it, that's a lot of money. Not compared to 18 billion, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just ballparking the number. But dates on this, January 28th. Well, we all know what day that was.
Yeah.
That was my father's birthday, yes, but it's also the day that GameStop took off and they took away the buy button. GameStop had taken off, for 2 weeks. It's not like it just happened that day. So it had been building up into this momentum thing, and these guys are willing to risk anything. And, infinite risk is what they're risking, because when you really look at this, the carryover and the calculations were misread. Yeah. They really were. And now, $17 billion later, they finally get a slap on the wrist of $360 million, but it kind of puts the headlights on them. And if you guys really break it down, go read it. It's out there. I'll do a follow-up video. But Al from Boston, he made a video where he just cussing and ranting and raving. He's pretty excited about it. But it was informative to a point where I had to go do my own homework and I had to go read up on it. And I'm still thinking it through. I know I told you I was making a video. Well, I stopped midway because you started your show and I just want to hear what you had to say. And I was like, I'm good. Like I'm grinding through. Oh, come on, bro. With support. Always. I'll be at work. You'll be live and I'll just catch you on my lunch break or my just a break at work, whatever I'm doing, whenever I can sit down. But I think it's so hard to find GameStop YouTubers, real ones, I should say. And so many things. I always want to touch base on that with you is, these guys that are out in this environment and, this community that we've built from scratch, some of these guys are leaving, and that was going to happen because you have to change narratives. And I don't want to pinpoint it that way, but who is doing the same thing are the banks. Banks are doing the same thing. Banks are changing narratives. You have Credit Suisse. Guys, I don't think people know how bad these guys are. Like, they had a COO in 2017, 19. Hired a private investigator to actually follow around one of his employees. The private investigator then dies out of nowhere. Suicide. And this is what happens in this bank. This bank is that corrupt. Archegos, that whole deal, right? That's going down, it's imploding. People are telling you that there's swaps in there hidden for GameStop. And we'll find out soon enough because this bank is reportedly going under. Now, I don't want to be, that's not a for certain thing. They're saying it could be Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or Credit Suisse. And when who was it, Kramer this morning tweeted, everything's okay?
Yeah, Friday.
The same thing about Lehman Brothers. They said the same thing during the housing crisis. They said it like the day before they went ahead and imploded. So I think this is awesome. I think that the Fed having an emergency meeting on Monday could mean one thing, a couple of things. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you see, I agree with you. I think that we're going to see a lot, in my opinion, we're going to see a lot more BS from the bank, or from anybody in politics or position of power, like a bank, a CEO of a bank, a CFO, anybody that can try to spin a narrative. They will try to spin it in a way of everything's fine. And they do that because, well, for a lot of reasons. I think number one is they're trying to, it's all about optics in one way. And then how can they pass the problem to somebody else and try to survive? And then the other part is they want to, they basically want to just they want to take as much as they can for as long as they can and hopefully get away with it. Like the best case scenario for them is like rip everybody off as long as possible. And then the problem somehow figures itself out and goes away. Somebody else eats crap and they go under, and they don't have to ever go under. Just like Citadel was like, we just have to survive one more day, that's it. And then here they are continuing to do the same thing. I think Citadel was like $56 billion oversold or something like that as well. This is what they do until they have to like face the Reaper, So I think that's what's happening too. And we just eat crap over and over. But right now it's a 2008 situation, which is way different.
Oh, check this one out, Kaz. And the viewers can watch this. There's like interviews. But 4 months ago, they asked the chairman of the board. His name is Axel Lehman, whatever his name is. That's for Credit Suisse.
No way. His last name is Lehman.
Yeah, it is. I thought he was related to the Lehman, like the Lehman Brothers type deal. I was like, is this where he went? No, but no. So they asked him 4 months ago. They said, hey man, is your CEO are we gonna replace him? Is he good? The CEO got there 3 weeks before COVID. And so he's been transitioning, taking the fall for a lot of this stuff that's been going on. There's been like 3 bad deals that they got. And they're getting sued for allowing like criminals to launder money through them. Credit Suisse is bad, guys. They're not a good bank.
Yeah.
They're the enemies. And Sweden has had enough. So the Swiss bank is coming after them. Everybody's coming after them. And so 4 months ago, he says, no, my CEO is great. We don't need to replace him. Nothing. We're perfect. And he says all this right there on TV to control the narrative because you have people who have invested billions of dollars here.
Yeah.
Well, they had a breach. I don't know if you know they had a security breach of their information in February of this year, where you found out that the Vatican was buying land in the UK. People were having drug cartels, human traffickers were investing money with them, and they were allowing this stuff to happen. They have no oversight whatsoever. So with that being said, they're getting sued and they're getting fined. And guess what happens? The CEO gets he got replaced months ago. So from 4 months ago to tell you the bank is great, and no, we have no problems here. There's nothing to see. It's all great. 2 months later, they got a new CEO. You get a new CEO nowhere.
Yeah.
It's legal. It's not. People just don't leave these companies and their shares are right on hand. The RSUs that they get and the bonuses they get. Nobody walks away from this free stuff. You run the biggest bank in the world. You're not just walking away. And I don't want to say it's the biggest bank, but it's up there, guys. There's 5 banks out there that are really running this world. And I hope people know what they're long on and what they're short on and why they are. It's to, they go long on, let's just say AMC. Like I want to tell you guys this. They go long on AMC. Credit Suisse does. People say, well, that's a good thing. It's beneficial. And it's like, no, they actually own the debt. So they're actually carrying the debt. So if AMC defaults on debt, guess what? They still get the money off the top side of it. Or if they pay off the bill, then they go the other route. So they're playing both ends of the table. A lot of people do that. So that's what's happening there.
So Barclays,
great on my screen.
Thanks, man. So does yours. So Barclays is basically oversold, got caught, sort of. We all caught it. Everyone caught it. Nothing happened. Same old story. SEC slaps them on the wrist with a minimal fine, which is basically their cost of doing business. A couple $1 million fine means nothing to them when they're over, that means nothing. And then they are running basically Breaking Bad style criminal rings behind the scenes, Los Pollos and Los Pollos Hermanos, and and behind the scenes, and nobody's any of the wiser except everything's about to hit the fan. And now I think we're starting to see cracks around the infrastructure of all the banks crumble. I think this Credit Suisse thing is another huge thing. Let's get in that next, and then I want to talk about the dollar too, because have you seen Peruvian Bull's thing about the dollar milkshake theory?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I gotta show you this, dude. All right, dude, it's crazy.
That's fine. I'll watch it.
It's crazy.
But the crazy thing for me was, I'm gonna go look at your stream right now so I can see whatever you're doing. But
I'm just talking to you, baby.
Me was, I got you. Come on, Kaz. We do this. What we do. I'm actually, while I'm talking to you and paying attention to all this, I'm watching these Raiders. They're winning. And they're beating the Broncos. Not that back down.
Nobody cares about the Raiders. What are you talking about? The Raiders?
I hate the Raiders. I want them to lose.
Broncos?
I really hate them.
I like Russell Wilson because I played against Russell Wilson in baseball.
Oh, bro. Yeah, he's a
beast.
Gifted athlete. Yeah, a gifted athlete. Wisconsin and in North Carolina. He was it. But anyway, back to it because I know you're back down here. Oh man, I wanted to tell you this. I wanted to share this with you. So I don't know if you get phone calls in space, but I get phone calls all the time, right? And they're telemarketers. Like whoever's asking me about my timeshare, shit like that. Hey, you want to rent out your time? I'm like, no, I already got folded to buying this shit, and I got to rent it out too. It's just too much work for me. Every time they call me, I tell them, hey, have you heard about GameStop? It's so crazy, Cosmic. You live in my head in a way in 2 things. The first thing you told me when we first talked, you said the internet's a big place.
Yeah.
And it really sits well in my heart when I watch other people and I'm trying to watch video. I found a YouTuber the other day that I had never seen before, never heard of. Only has 1,000 people watching him, and he bashes the hell out of every stock. I mean, he goes crazy, even GameStop. But I was listening to him, and I was like, I never even heard of this guy. Who's this loser? But it was cool. And I thought about that because when I'm doing these calls, dude, when they're calling me and I'm like, hey man, don't bother me right now. Have you heard of a stock called GameStop? It's going to hit the moon, blah, 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 blah. This dude went like this. He goes, DRS, baby. Like that out of nowhere.
DRS, baby. That's hilarious.
He goes, DRS, baby. And when he did that, I was like, shit.
Hit him with the infinite risk next time.
Well, guess what he did? I hit him with my name, and then he went and Googled it, and then he's like, "Hey, man, I just joined your stream. I just got off the phone call with you."
Oh, that's awesome.
I have this update to make to you, and this is a personal thing from me to you. You told me about DRS a while back. I'm not going to say that like you were the first guy to tell me, but you told me, how to look at it. As in, if people are DRS, great. If they're not, that just should make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, because we know there's a lot of shares out there. It's Suisse, and I never talk Moas, but if this is real right here, Barclays sold $17.7 billion worth of securities over the last 3 years that didn't exist. Onto your shit. Onto your shit, because if this blows, and I don't mean to cuss because I know we're trying to clean up the stream, you said.
That's okay.
But if it blows, Kaz, this could be so much bigger than I could ever imagine. I know that the other day in the after hours, somebody was reporting that we had over 900%. What was it? Short interest.
Yeah.
Reported.
Yeah.
900 something percent. I said, oh God, you guys, I'm in GameStop for all the fundamental reasons, right? But if this does this part,
the fundamentals are the backbone of everything.
Absolutely.
And like, that's why I see an undervalued stock turning itself into a tech company and already creating incredible future wealth via NFTs, etc. And what I see is an opportunity for just one of the best investments of all time. Then we look at everything that's crazy about the over leveraged hedge funds and the short interest and the oversold securities and the way they oversold, and the fact that a subreddit alone owns 54% of a free float, and the way that that's not slowing down. So when I look at DRS, I look at it as, number one, I want to own as much as we can in a broken system. I can't necessarily get that certificate sent to my house and own the certificate. Really, I mean, you kind of can with give a share, but not really. It's fake. They all goes through DRS. That's the best way you can really do it. And even that has been some back and forth about, is it yours? Does it go through Seed and Co still? Is it still in like a ledger somewhere? But really, like, the DRS thing is like, with the system and the tools we have, the best way to actually own it and take it out of the DTC, and on paper it says DTC stock removal. I want to do that. I want to take all that out. And then in a nutshell, I look at DRS and say the numbers keep going up, 15 million, 20 million, whatever we're at right now. It's showing me that we're not selling those. So the whole buy and hold thing that everyone memes and says, buy and hold, LOL. It's like, dude, it's actually true. We spent billions of dollars as retail investors on this company, just in the people who have DRS'd, not to mention everyone else who's holding who haven't. It's insanity. And so when this does pop off and the market does send these people, these banks and these hedge funds to zero, and their positions do get closed, it's going to be Armageddon, and it's going to be, where are the shares? How do we close these out? What's going to happen? And the people that have it in their names, whether they get, and not only that, they're entitled to dividends, et cetera, but they're going to be like, I know for sure I'm covered at least as much as I can within the system that's available. That's the way I look at it.
I'm going to make the announcement. I did DRS a portion of my,
let's go, baby. Let's go.
That was thanks to you. Because, I was just sitting there and you had told me that one day, you're like, Marantz, you could do it while you're on the toilet. Just get it done. I think that's what you text me. You hit me with the DM. You said, bro, just get it done. You can just make the call and they'll do it. And it was really that easy. Called Fidelity. And because I didn't just talk to the chat bot or whatever, I actually wanted to talk to someone.
Yeah, same.
And so I called them. And I talked to him and I asked him all the right questions. I was like, hey, the amount of shares that I send over, can we make sure they're the short shares? Because I don't plan on selling them anytime. And I don't mean shorted stock. I mean the short investment of it. It hasn't been a year yet. So they weren't long yet. So the ones that are long, I have them sitting there in Fidelity. The ones that were just purchased this last 2 months, that's what I pushed for. So I had like a whole bunch like that. But I did that and I feel good about it. I really do. So there we go. I'm changing my leaf. No, people can't pressure me into doing things. You can't peer pressure me, but read more into it and get more info. So that's what I did. And that's all you, Kaz. Serious, man. I mean, you sleep in my ear sometimes.
Thanks, man. I mean, look, it's always a risk. And like, we're dealing with infinite risk here, but like, there's a chance. I tell everybody this. I said, there's a chance we could get screwed by DRS too. There is. You have to know there's a chance we could get screwed by everything, but everything so far is lined up for us to position ourselves for the best hedge against what's happening. And that's what I like to do. So I have 80%, or what I have now, 92% DRS and 8% in Fidelity still. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good because I have so much of that 8% is still just chilling in Fidelity in case that still works. If it doesn't work, I'm hoping DRS works. I'm really hoping DRS works, of course, because 92% is in there and I can sell easily in that. And everyone's tested out the selling aspect of it. That's a whole different rabbit hole. But basically, that's the tools we have as retail, which sucks. But I take comfort in the fact that there have been short squeezes before. We know that they have to close. And when they do have to close their positions, we're going to see insane FOMO, insane we were right, insane price action. And I mean, sorry if you missed the train, because me and Marantz have been talking about it for 2 years. You know, like, you really have been. Somebody in the chat said, do we need a catalyst for the GME, for GME/AMC, like Porsche taking over via? First of all, AMC doesn't matter. Do we need a catalyst for GME like Porsche taking over VW? I mean, look, in my opinion, if we got to a certain amount, that's what we're all trying to do with DRS in a way, is like if we have DRS locked to a certain percent, like if we have all the shares registered to a certain percentage, Volkswagen squeezed because 74% was owned, I think, by Porsche. So there's only a certain amount. And I think truly there was only like 3% available of a free float, and short sellers like oversold as usual, and they were screwed. So the price skyrocketed over the course of a couple of days. And there's like news clips and stuff you can go look at that you can see exactly the timeline of when that happened. So just fundamentally, like not only is it a good investment, we are DRSing every day more and more and more. So we are getting closer and closer to that number. So yes, we will get, as we get DRS more, that theoretically should happen and could happen all over again. But will it happen again because of that? I don't know. But what I'm banking on right now is a market crash. People, and by people, I mean banks, hedge funds, etc., all those lumped together to implode and go to zero. And then those positions that get closed out. And then as the market crashes, the shorts just get totally obliterated. And that's, I think, is the main catalyst that really is like a subset of a market crash. It's not like Ryan Cohen did a thing that caused the catalyst that made this happen. It's really the bad guys screwed themselves so much that when the market crashed, they got screwed by themselves. That's what I think.
Can I answer that right there with you, Cox?
Yeah.
Hey, Ludwig, I know you're probably in the chat and you're listening. I want to say this to you. First is it's really different than the Porsche VW squeeze.
Yes.
Porsche bought VW to protect them because they were getting shorted into the ground, and Porsche protected them and let everyone know they had no intention of selling those shares. They just wanted them to run up, hold it, and go that way. So it was a whole, that event probably will never happen that way, where you don't have a company coming in and trying to protect GameStop. You don't need it. AMC, they're protecting themselves with APE. I don't know if you know how that breaks down, but they're going to use that unit to raise money and survive another day. They're doing it in the opposite direction. But GameStop's $0. GameStop has $950 million in the bank. They paid off $940 million in debt by doing their share offering, and built a marketplace, and have 2 fulfillment centers, and have additional hires of over 800 people. I mean, there's a lot of things GameStop's doing that cost money. I get that, but those are one-time expenses. Those are not annual expenses. So as you annualize on the number itself, you want to know how it's going to squeeze or how it's going to pop. It's fundamentals. Fundamentally, the company's undervalued right now. Wall Street will figure it out, but they're going to be too late to the party because who owns all the shares? We do. Boom. The only way you're going to come here and get these damn shares is when GameStop, here's how it works. Cosmic has the point about the market crashing. As the market crashes, you have to remember 2 things happen when a market crashes. 1,
sex. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry.
You lose your collateral, right? So you lose your long collateral that you might have in FANG stocks to offset your short position. As the market starts crashing down, you're going to have to find something to buy to offset. Well, guess what? When you run out of things to offset, and we're still holding tight, we're still holding a level that we were in 2021. We're still holding that dollar point. So when we can do that, and we haven't lost as much as the whole market, right? The S&P, I'm just using the S&P as an example. the requirement to get into the S&P 500 drops as well. As the market sells off and GameStop comes up, at what point does GameStop get in and now they're in the S&P 500? It's really close, guys. You need $48 a share. We've been there before, and that's when the market was peaking. That was last year. Right now, as it goes, as the market's shrinking, we're going to come up. And we don't have to even come up that much. You could probably get in there at $40 a share. Now, is GameStop presentable at $40? Yeah, absolutely. It is every day of the week. We will eventually get into the S&P 500 by having a positive earnings for Q4. That's Christmas, Black Friday, Cyber Week, not Cyber Monday. We have a big stretch coming. I read a FUD article yesterday. Somebody sent it to me. And it said, Marantz, how do you explain this? And it said that GameStop's having a problem inventory because they can't fulfill all the pre-orders of NBA 2K23 or whatever. And they were like, ooh, and it was like a hit piece, right? That's not a hit piece. You can't fulfill the orders because that's the demand. Demand is that high. GameStop doesn't make the game, distribute it. And the fact that the game maker, whoever, doesn't make enough because the demand's that high, they'll figure it out. GameStop has plenty of cash on hand. Getting the product to you because you go to the website. You know they're selling Halloween costumes now, Cosmic?
Who, GameStop?
The Halloween section. Yep.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting my nurse outfit.
Your brother, they have a whole bunch of, the Batman, Superman, I don't know, all the guys. They have everything, even for the kids and even for dogs. They need to have costumes that they're selling right now. They didn't have you, brother, and I hope they would pay you if they had you, but they didn't have you.
If they had me, they'd sell out. They would have so much demand. They had so much demand.
I'd buy one. I'd buy one. I wear it.
They had demand on hand from all the men.
There it is. Does that hair come with it? Because I need that good hair.
Yeah. They had the bandana with a little thing. It'd be great. It's like, look, it's the best. You walk around like this in town, you're gonna get all the king size candy bars. Trust me. You're gonna get them all. You're gonna get them all.
Trick or treating this year. What do you mean? Another whole thing. No, I'm not trick or treating. Too much fentanyl coming across the border. I'm not ready for
that's true. I'm not putting my that's true. Dang, that's crazy. That's a whole different thing.
I'll say it out loud.
Dang.
Yeah, brother, you don't want that. You don't want this. I'll start ranting.
My favorite thing to do is crush up a couple Smarties and stick them up my nostril, son, just in case. I mean, get that little hit of a Smartie. One time I did that.
My dad did? No, look what my dad did. This is what he did to us as kids. He would check our candy. He would take all the good stuff, right? Yeah. And he would leave us with like Tootsie Rolls and Smarties. And then he'd be like, that's the candy I ate when I was growing up, and it made me big and strong. And so we're sitting there, we're like, all right, it's going to make us big and strong. Popping the worst candy ever while he's over there eating the Reese's and the Snickers. Pops was a bastard, man. I can't believe it.
You get that Snickerdoodle or something. What's the worst Halloween candy, do you think? Like probably one of them, probably those off-brand like orange ones or something like that. They're like.
Oh, those are good. The peanut butter ones. I always thought they were terrible. Like when I don't know. Like orange and black.
No. The beans. They're like bean ones. They're like the things my dad eats. The Boston baked beans. You get some of them.
Beans, those are gross.
Those are gotta be the worst. So you know which ones are a bad one, but I kind of grew to love them. Is those like bee ones? What are they called? Like the honey ones. They're like honey. What are they called? They're like honey snap, not honey snap. They're like honey something. Oh, those are good.
California, they give out Mexican candy everywhere.
You guys think candy corn's good? Candy corn's trash. Yeah. But yeah, dude. I forgot what we were talking about. Bit of honey. That's what I was
going somewhere with GameStop.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with GameStop in the website. So I've been paying attention to the website, like what they're doing and how they're transitioning. So when you really want to know, like, how's it going to pop? We're going to get an earnings in here where they kill the number. The SG&A is going to come down, so not as many expenses as they will have each quarter. They've been doing that over the last 5 years. They've been getting better. The thing that GameStop has coming up is around 500 leases this year. We're going to be renewed. Next year, it's 1,400. They have the ability to close down more stores and become more nimble where they need to, where they can make the cuts. And those cuts are smart cuts. They're not bad cuts. It's all optics. People think that, this one's closed down. It's okay. Their business. And if you become a better operator and they're going to pay you for it, they're going to give you the PSUs, the performance stock units for those store managers, and the RSUs that they're currently getting, and $21,000 worth of shares. That's a great place to work. And I'm telling you right now, it'll build this. You gotta build culture.
Yeah.
That's why I don't agree when people tell you, they're gonna merge with this company and that company and like all the big name companies. And I'm like, slow down, guys. a culture here that's getting embedded into you. And it's not just Ryan Cohen. It's not just his culture. It's Mark Vadden. Mark Vadden's culture, if you don't know who he is, he was the CEO and creator of Blue Nile Diamonds in the 1999-2004 timeframe. E-commerce. He was the guy making money, becoming a billionaire, focusing on categories that Amazon did not dominate. He did jewelry, and he sold more diamonds than Tiffany's. And he invents a company called Zulily, and Zulily clothing line, and they do like flash sales, 72-hour sales online where people come in and they buy apparel. And he was getting people that couldn't get into the big stores and on the website. So you couldn't get into Gap or Old Navy, but they could get you here. So, and Amazon was doing, but they didn't do too well on women's apparel. And so he attacked that market. The reason why I'm telling you this is because Mark Vadden became the CEO of Chewy. He became CEO of Chewy in 2014. And when he became the CEO, he had an interview 8 years ago, and he said, I'm mentoring a guy who's 28 years old. He didn't say his name. He said he's 28 years old, mentoring him. It's because he was in the pet food category. He was in the premium pet product category, and they sold it for $3.2 billion. He said, hey, we don't want to go up against Amazon face first. We want to do, and when you strike oil, guys, you're doing the right thing. You don't want to tell anybody you got it. Someone's going to come dig right next to you. The fact that GameStop doesn't make announcements on Twitter.
Yes, I love that.
Announcements, all this stuff. Everyone, Ryan Cohen's got to say something. No, he doesn't.
Nope.
These guys are doing it in the dark. All those partnerships that IMX is announcing, the FTX partnership that's right here in front of you, everything's coming together, and Wall Street will figure it out too late.
I like doing it. I like doing it in mostly the dark, but a little bit of light, just enough to see what's going on. And I think that's just a little bit, like a key light from the closet or something like that, just perfectly lighting the bedroom, something like that. And that's exactly what Ryan Cohen's doing. He's just teasing us with a little bit of light every now and then. And I love it. Just off every little angle. It's like, ooh, what's going to happen next? You don't know where he's going to come from, what's going to happen. I love it. It just feels good everywhere.
Watch this. You ready for the connection?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Mark Vadden, who's no longer with Chewy after they sold off.
Was he dead?
He is now. He's got a venture capitalist fund. He's just hanging out with money, a couple of $1 billion. He's still mentoring and he's still building. And they took all the executives from Zulily. They're now at GameStop. All the main players. Mark Vadden's a guy who's mentoring Ryan Cohen. And Ryan Cohen will be that Warren Buffett-esque type dude with his investments and his strategy on how to make businesses better. So just know where the billions are, know where the rich guys are. Not only Evolution Capital and Larry Chang and Michael Day, right? They're not just those guys that are pushing out funds. The CEO of Wayfair is Evolution Capital. It's furniture online. They have access to everything. GameStop does. They eventually get that. They're selling Ring doorbells right now, Segways. They're selling go-karts. They're selling drones. They're selling anything electronic. Best Buy better watch out. That's all I'm telling you. Well, I don't know that part.
Well, I mean, they're selling candy, so it's in the candy. You said it was in the candy, dude. So if they got it, they got it.
I said I'm not going to.
I mean,
so
I kind of want to answer that question. I kind of want to do a little fentanyl with you. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, brother, I don't have the tolerance. I'll probably die right there. So
I'm just kidding. I don't even know what it is.
A couple of druggies walking around town. Well, I don't know either, but the druggies tell me that you need a tolerance to be able to do it, or else you're gonna die. And I'm like, I'll pass on that one. You got to build it up, brother. You got to start this one. Oh
God.
No, thank you, sir.
No, I didn't do anything. I don't like anything that ends in ethanol.
Tylenol.
No, dude. F Tylenol. I'm what's the other one? Not ibuprofen. That's lame. No, Aleve. I heard Aleve used to be like over the counter. You had to get a prescription for Aleve. That's what someone told me one time. So I was like, okay, this is like
one a day.
Yeah, I do like 12.
I picture you like a Norland Ryan because you're a baseball player, and the Advil commercials. This is what I have after my you're getting old.
I just chew them. I just chew them up.
You're a grown man.
All right, I gotta look at this.
What else you got for me?
I got. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, the game's at 6:30. It's okay. We're doing well. We're fine. I want to talk about this.
People want us here, though. I don't think
they do.
Want to get rid of
so here's what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna have to cover your face for a second to show this, but I want to show this thing called the dollar milkshake. I haven't talked about it on my stream yet, and it's actually super deep. So if you want to follow along with me, you can, and we'll go over it together. I'm going to give you the high level right now, okay? And then we'll talk about it. The high level. So this is by Peruvian Bull. And basically this is saying that the dollar, as it becomes more inflated and people are basically positioned to where they rely on the dollar, okay, other economies rely on the dollar, right? So as they rely on the dollar, and the dollar becomes more and more skewed, their economies start to crumble. And you're starting to see that with like the Bank of Europe, et cetera. And there are perfect correlated charts. So I'm going to read the first part of it. As the Fed begins their journey to deflationary blizzard, they are beginning to break markets across the globe. As a world reserve currency, over 60% of all international trade is done in dollars. The U.S., make sure everybody can see this. The U.S. dollar, USD is the largest foreign exchange, Forex, holdings by far for global central banks. Now, all foreign currencies are crashing against the dollar as the vicious feedback loops of Triffin's dilemma come home to roost. The dollar milkshake has begun. The Fed, unknowingly or unknowingly, has walked in this trap, and now they find themselves caught underneath the sword of Damocles. I'm going to skip ahead just because I kind of summed up everything real quick. This is very in-depth. If you guys want to look at it, you can. It's just look up Super Stonking Dollar Milkshake, see at the top, and you'll be able to find this. This is a great read, especially if you're drinking. You should just like sit down there with a whiskey and read this thing. But let me just skim. I think there's a part down here that shows exactly what I'm talking about. The dollar milkshake, okay? A giant milkshake of liquidity has been created by global central banks, as we're seeing with Credit Suisse, by the dollar as its key ingredient. But if the dollar moves higher, this milkshake will be sucked into the U.S., creating a vicious spiral that could quickly destabilize financial markets. The dollar is the bedrock of the world's financial system. It greases the wheels of the global commerce and exchange. Availability of dollars, cost of dollars, and the level of dollar itself can have an outsized impact on economies and investment opportunities. Okay, if the level of the dollar moves too quickly, and particularly if the level rises too fast, then problems start popping up all over the place. But the hidden issue is the difference in demand. Remember, the global financial system is built on a dollar. So even if they don't want them, everybody still needs them. And if you need something, you don't really have much choice. So here's the US dollar, right? Okay, and we can take a look at this chart. Boom. See as it goes up. Now take a look at this amazing chart. You will see the rest of the charts tanking almost perfectly in correlation. And they're all relying on that. So you have a big problem across the board where, I mean, everything's imploding and relying on us. Basically, we're now in the final napalm run that seems a dollar and dollar assets accelerate into even higher and completely undermines global markets. Central banks try to prevent disorderly moves, but the global markets are bigger and the momentum is unstoppable once it takes hold. And that is the risk very few people see coming, but that everyone should hedge against. And when the U.S. sucks up the dollar milkshake, bad things are going to happen. Worst of all, there's no alternatives. What are you going to use? Chinese yuan, the Japanese yen, the euro? Now, like it or not, we're stuck with a dollar underpinning the global financial system. And then he goes on this tweet, with the U.S. hiking aggressively in Japan, EU, and China even further behind the curve, the Fed has created a massive dollar short squeeze. I'm not saying anything about the dollar and like whatever. I'm not saying leverage against it or bet against whatever. I'm just saying this is a big, huge problem in conjunction with what we have in the U.S. is a bear. Most people just see it as a bear market. It'll be fine, or like just hold on. It's so much bigger than that because like why is, for example, the Netherlands inflation 17%? Why is everything across the international markets tanking? Well, here's a very good reason. And also, you can look across these markets. You can really see that there are problems afoot for everybody. And this could, if you want to get really rabbit hole-y, lead us into the Great Reset, which I don't know. I mean, I definitely think there's some truth to all that stuff, but I don't want to go too Alex Jones on everybody. But I will say that when we start to uncover more and more conspiracy that has legitimate facts, you can see like, oh wow, that's coming true. You start to realize how many things that are conspiracy, like if they aren't just like man became an alien overnight and it's like an old tabloid from Food Line, you can start to see like some of this stuff actually has legs behind it. Like government is corrupt. They don't have your best interest. They are doing things behind the scenes. The Vatican is probably corrupt and making deals behind the scenes. The central banks are screwing people. They do want to keep us dumb. They aren't helping us at all. They do want to keep the middle class poor and uneducated. All of these things are true conspiracy theories, but it's all coming to a head right now in our lifetime. And when Ryan Cohen tweets out something like, is the greatest time to be alive is right now. It's also one of the worst times to be alive if you have no idea what's happening. But it's also, if you're ready and primed and ready for it, one of the best times to be alive, because here we go. This is happening. Although the Fed is very far behind the curve, meaning they are hiking far too late to combat inflation, other countries are further behind. Basically, as they had raised the rates on the dollar, every time they try to fight inflation, they're screwing the rest of the economy. I mean, the global economy. Because like they're not just raising the rates with us, they're raising the rates everywhere. Put another way, the host country U.S. has decided decide to either not print money and import goods, which halts global trade, not enough money to settle, or it has decided to run current account deficits to keep the global economy running at the expense of burying itself in debt, eventually having to print their way out, which will likely kill the U.S. dollar as the WRC holder. Incredible. This is just crazy. The Fed must therefore restart quantitative easing, QE, unless it wants to spur a collapse on global scale. Remember, these foreign countries need to buy, borrow, and trade in currency that they cannot print. Again, they cannot print. By far, the largest factor is Triffin's dilemma, the dollar milkshake, and their desperate need for dollars. That's why basically every fiat currency is collapsing versus the dollar. The most serious implication, the Fed responsible for supplying dollars to everyone. When they raise rates, they trigger margin call on the entire world. They need to bail them out by supplying them with fresh dollars to stabilize their currencies. In other words, the Fed has to run the loosest and most accommodative monetary policy worldwide. They must keep rates as low as possible and print as much as possible in order to keep the global financial system running. If they don't do that, sovereigns begin to blow up, just like Japan did last week and England did on Wednesday. And if the world's financial system implodes, they must bail out not only the United States, but virtually every global central bank, the sword of Damocles. Boom! Woo! That's how it goes, son. What do you think about that? That's crazy, right?
I didn't know we were doing half conspiracy, half geopolitical.
I mean, welcome to my stream, Marantz.
It's good. It's good, brother. I'm gonna hit you with it, okay?
Hit me with it, dude. Send me a nude. Send me nudes.
This is gonna be good because I think a lot while you're talking. The one thing is this. First, I was in the military beforehand, and we used to go overseas and do all the good stuff. The flag in back of me on my wall flew in Qatar.
Oh,
during
sick.
flag call, I get to keep it. I was a military police officer. I went out there. You find out that wars are fought over energy. They would always tell you oil, right? In this case, even Russia right now dealing with that and the blockades and everything that comes about. But the real fight and war, yes, it is energy. But did you know you can only buy oil in U.S. dollars?
I actually did not know that.
Euros. Listen, you can, but it's not going to work out well. Gaddafi did it, they killed him. Saddam Hussein, who we could have killed a long time ago, the minute he started buying oil in euros, they killed him. Conspiracy theory, yes. But it's true. It actually plays out in time, like you're saying. These things actually have legs to them. So when the US dollar is increased, well, let's take that back. Let's go to when we printed money like no other, right? And that was during COVID. We printed the dollar. And it got so out of it got ridiculous. We printed that much money, that much cash to people. This is why gas went up, because they said, okay, you want to make the dollar, you want to dilute the dollar? That's fine. We're just going to up the rate on oil, and that's what happened. So we now had to pay X. They were still going to get their money out of the energy source. They don't care. They don't care. So that's why I just paid $114 to fill up my truck yesterday. This is real. I mean, it does not matter. California is still $7 a gallon.
Thank God I'm in space.
Oh, yes, sir. You don't want no part of this. But the way it works, guys, on the energy is they're printing more, right? They print out as much as they can. They made it ridiculous. Housing came up. And rent went up in rates. Everything's gone up. Inflation is real. It's at the counter. CPI will tell you, Consumer Price Index tell you it's like 9.2, 9.1. No, it's like 15, 14. That's why whenever you're gauging double-digit increases on companies, right? Like the S&P 500 is penciled in for a double-digit increase because some analysts said it. Do you know what these analysts are doing? They're breaking the market themselves. We're in a bear market, and analysts can break the market by saying it's going to be double-digit. It's not. It's single-digit increase because that's the truth. It's not about dollars. It's about units. It's, am I selling more of the product? I'm not. Just because I made more money doesn't mean anything. This is what Apple's encountering here, this dollar milkshake, this thing that you just read. Apple is making less now because 42% of their product is sold in China. Guess what? Conversion's not there for them. Foreign exchange conversion rates for anyone doing business overseas, you're not making money right now. Last year, GameStop made money in Australia. They didn't make money in Europe. This year, this last quarter, they lost money in Australia. They lost money in Europe. And it's not because they're not great operators. It's because the dollar is outweighing what they are. And we're buying product not in euros. We're not buying product in pounds. We're buying product US, and we're shipping it out. This is why Ryan Cohen's concentrating on US first. So what is the hedge? Right? What is the hedge? Because you increase rates, yes, no one wants to borrow money from you. The interest on the side of interest is you do not want to owe anyone money in this economy right now. You'll take a bath. So if you bought a truck during COVID at 0% interest, awesome. Yeah, my wife, she did great. She bought me the gift. But if you're a company that owes billions of dollars, then the EBITDA, whatever the hell it is that they want to say it, you are not going to pay off your interest. It's impossible. It's only going to increase. Any borrowed money right now, no one's borrowing money. So the only people buying houses right now are cash buy. And only cash buyers are the only ones buying houses right now. And I would tell you that BlackRock buying up all this land from the banks this last year and a half, that's a bailout. They were bailing out banks buying land for grossly overpriced. And people don't know that part. They look at it, they're like, oh, it's just because that's the value of land. You can't make more land. Okay, well, guess what they're doing? They're just giving them more money to keep floating this goddamn short position that this whole country's involved in. Mm-hmm. People don't know the short position of America.
Yeah.
You guys are sadly mistaken. It's baby boomers, greedy ones. I know it's sad to say about the elderly, but they are cashing out and we're buying in.
Yeah.
As they're cashing out, it's because they're all retiring. Retired from 2004 all the way to 2017. And what happened to our economy? We found a lot of greedy old people, a lot of greedy people in the 40s, and they made this happen.
And
we're paying for it.
Yeah, and there's a new wave of how to run the economy coming. You know, like it's not just the old way. And like think about the way the markets were run 30 years ago are completely different than the way they are now with high frequency trading on this insane scale. Like what we think of Wall Street as people on, the floor, like, like the Eddie Murphy movie, they're just like screaming at each other and passing tickets. It's like completely different. It's like, it's all computers and algorithms and it's all front run and making money on the front end, the back end, skimming cents off of dollars. And it's not the same. And then we have a system where we think our generation is coming up and then the future generations will be built on what I hope anyway, is going to be blockchain, real, actual, true value trading, which I don't know if it will. I want that to be the case. I really do. The optimist in me, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I just think that people are so evil and corrupt. They're going to figure out a way to screw it up at some point. And they're going to, at least at bare minimum, they're going to figure out a way to corrupt it. They've already corrupted crypto, but there's ways to make money in it. I think blockchain in itself is a great concept and idea if it can be perfectly trusted and going forward.
Voting, brother.
Exactly. Like in general, like blockchain voting, blockchain, anything, a 1-for-1 representation of a true value of anything. Like, is it like, there's a great quote by like, I think it's the guy, what's his name? Donald Glover or something. He's like an actor. I think it's like he's like a rapper too. But, he said like, he's like, NFTs are going to be a thing. They just are, because we're going to look back on this time and be like, remember there's that time when like there are so many people and things that were fake and we're like, I can't believe we allowed that to happen. And we can't believe like we allowed like not true representation of things to just be out there. Like there's so many, it will instantly kill all fake bots on the internet because there'll be true representation of things in theory, but I think there'll be ways to fake that, all of this. I don't know. It's just, the future is crazy. And I think it leads us into Ready Player One. I don't even know how I just got here.
Oh, I love Ready Player One. My favorite movie. That's my last movie I saw at the movie theater. It's great.
Oh, dude. So good.
I know. I saw it twice. Hey, but check this out, Kaz. You're hitting a couple of good points. One.
Hold on. In-hander. Hold on. I got to do something. Hold on. This guy in here, I got to read this to you. I think he's talking about you. He called you a retard. He says, is this retard still talking about 100K a share? Or is he still saying $1 million a share? I'm going to go ahead and answer that one for you because I don't want you to feel like you have to answer it, but here's what I'm saying. In-hander, 49. We're looking at 20 million a share, and I'm not, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everyone's going to vote you off right now. The tribe is speaking. Cast your votes. In-hander 49.
I don't know what he said. I didn't read it. Couldn't find it.
Everybody cast your votes. Do you have an alliance in the chat? No, you do not. Goodbye. Gone. Okay, I had to kill that guy. He's gone.
No, it's cool.
I had to kill a man live on stream. Sorry about that. Forgive me, dog.
You're good with me. I don't mind. I don't mind one bit. So
I sniped him.
I didn't even know he was saying anything. I think I had that guy blocked on my other stream. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a word has it he sends a lot of nudes to women unsolicited and not a lot to show. It looks like a big toe. Is what the word on the street is. That guy.
Wiener style. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, laptops even. Yeah, a lot of laptops out there.
No, so check this out though, cause as you go through it, right? Like all these guys are coming out with ideas of. I was thinking sports. Replay didn't exist in the 80s, right? And then they brought it out in the 90s. They didn't like it. It took slow down.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't live without it. Gotta have replay. So It's like it's an unmanipulated way of looking at things. I think soccer is the grossest one, the best one now, because FIFA has the offsides. It's digital. Like you can't get the call wrong. They go, they look up at the cameras and they go. Baseball's a damn joke to me. I need an ump, bro. Just give me the box, give me a little pitcher box, and I'll tell you if it's a strike or not. But that's how I view blockchain technology. Not being manipulated, being able to keep things on par, on track, and everything will be an NFT. It will without a doubt, because you got to think about how the music industry was forced to change. We start downloading music, right? We start downloading things, and everyone's like, nah. But guess what? Apple came up with an idea to make a marketplace for it. It's called iTunes. When they put that bad boy out, yes, there's other ones out there. There's other places where you can get music. But before that, we were the gangsters. Casa, Fairshare, Napster. We were
burnt CDs stuff with your girlfriend. You got that freaking visor CD thing in your car, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Bro, I had a 6-disc CD changer in the trunk.
Oh, yes.
All my burned CDs, and I tell my girl, this one's for you.
What genre do you want?
I had it all, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Whatever it may be.
Here's
this one day, and then
NFTs, one of the best use case scenarios I've seen recently for NFTs in the music industry is Taylor Swift. She got her songs. She had to re-release them as her own version of her own songs, which she thought she had a rights to, but she never really did because the music label owned whatever. If she had just NFT'd those, then she would have made all the money from them. Never had to use record label ever, and it completely kills these middlemen that don't need to be there. So you can just give out. Imagine if Cardi B, or who's a popular musician, Harry Styles. Let's use Harry Styles. He's like everyone who says. Harry Styles comes out and releases all of his future music on NFTs only. It would sell out, and then those songs can not only be owned forever, but if they were a rare song, like Michael Jackson's Thriller, for example, it would have value long term to hold that song if it was or to trade it. There's so much value there, and then there's no the record label got a cut. The captain and I watched a documentary one time. She made me watch this thing about the music industry. It was the Backstreet boy bands in the 90s. And she was like, the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys made no money for all of the time they were popular. They got a $30,000 check one day. And that was the thank you. And they were world famous everywhere. And it was a crazy documentary about money. Really. That was the core of it. It was crazy, but they don't own anything and they think they do. So NFTs in general could solve so many problems across the board. And I don't know. It's just wild. It's wild to me.
Yeah, so YouTube changed that for a lot of independent artists who were able to put out their own music and get seen by the world. The Justin Bieber story. But even then, you still have to sign a contract of some kind if you want to, or you can do it independently and sell them out the trunk of your car. Either way, you can go viral if you have talent, and if the internet's a big place, as Cosmic says. But as we're going through this, guys, and we're developing a different company, this marketplace, just to put light on it, I do interviews with creators. I have a whole showcase of it. I have 27. I'm doing one tomorrow. I'm doing is it Bumbleberry? I think it's his name. He sells the slots and stuff like that on there. He's a cool ass dude. I'll tweet it out later for him. And I try to get showcased to these creators who are out there, and these guys have a place now. They have a home, and it's for artwork. It's for music. The Real DMT. I don't even know if you know who he is. He's a rapper. He does all the GameStop songs. 25. I have his whole album. 25 songs on one NFT. I have 100 of them I can hand out, but 25 songs about GameStop, about the marketplace manipulation. He's catchy. He's edgy. He can freestyle. The kid's he's very gifted. And he even did he does my intro track to my channel that I have not played for anybody yet. I'm not prepared to play it right now, but I will play it on my show when I go live. I will not be live tomorrow. Going to spend some time with the family and grandma. I will not be live Tuesday. I'll be live Wednesday, like that. So I'm going to have to watch your update videos, do those things, but I'm going to be out of commission there. That's why I like doing this tonight with you.
Yeah, man.
This is I think it's where every GameStop investor wants to be.
It's been fun, man. I'm trying to get my own. I'm excited to be interviewed by you when I get approved for the marketplace. I applied a couple months ago. I need to reapply. I have some really good NFTs. I'm really excited to show everybody. I haven't showed them at all. And I need to finish the second collection. The first collection is great. The second collection is going to be even better. But I'm so excited about what I'm doing. But anyway, I got to stop here, but I want to keep talking to you. Let's do this again sometime for sure. Is that cool with you?
You have my personal cell phone. Have my DM, you know where I'm at. Have my Discord, which Discord's free. Everyone can join. We don't care. We don't ever charge for any of this shit. As creators, I just want to tell you, I know the struggle. You know the struggle is people sometimes they tune in, sometimes they don't. It's just we're here. We're always going to be here, and I appreciate you reaching your hand out to me. It means a lot to me, Kaz.
Yeah, dude.
I've been around for a long time, and we've been in the same circles for a long time, and always been positive for the movement, always been positive for people at night that need a stream to come to. I know you did a couple of day streams, and we would talk about that too. I'd be live, I'd be like, yo, Cosmic's live right now, like whatever it may be. The day stream's a little different vibe, a little different feel.
For sure.
People want to how to make money during that time frame. And I'm just invested in the best company in the world, man.
That's right.
I'm happy to be shoulder to shoulder with you.
Brothers.
I'm only 6 feet and you're 6'8".
We're brothers.
But one day when you come down to earth and we settle this, we're definitely going to be there in a bar somewhere. And,
post Moaz, baby.
We'll have to arm wrestle then.
For sure, we'll make it happen post Moaz. If you don't hold longer than I am, I'm gonna laugh at you, but that's okay. I'm going for the high score.
Those computer shares, my damn DRS shares, I'm not selling them.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Infinity pool
in the wheel.
There you go.
Gone.
That's good.
It's gone. I'll never sell them. So
there you go.
I feel good about it.
All right, man.
Love you guys.
Yeah,
love everybody.
dude.
I appreciate you.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Great talking with you.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That's Marantz. Everybody follow him on YouTube at Rantz, and anywhere else on. You're Marantz everywhere. Rantz, right? Everywhere.
TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, my Twitter, YouTube. That's where I hang out the most. People catch me like on Facebook and TikTok if they have to. Like Australians, they're like that. So
yeah,
anyway,
MySpace.
I'll
whatever.
see you around.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah, MySpace all day, brother.
See you guys. All right, later.